Welcome to Board Game Archaeology, where we play time-worn games from the past. I'm Hunter.
I'm Rob.
And today we're playing Famous Monsters Monster Match Game.
The Monster Match Game came out of the 1982 Famous Monsters game book, which is a reprint of crossword puzzles, word searches, but on the inside cover of this magazine is a full-color game, the Monster Match Game. It has everything you need. It has the spinner, and on the back page it has your characters, and it has all the parts you'll need that we'll talk about in a second. The one thing this book doesn't have is the actual spinner and some of the instructions that are in a later page of a Famous Monsters yearbook. So if you don't know, Famous Monsters of Filmland was created in 1958 by Forey J. Ackerman. It's by far my favorite magazine of all time, and all the monster kids older than me and my age, because I was born in 62, so I'm missing the first 4 years. This is the magazine that kept us going as monster kids. As it went, this one is actually the same issue, not the same issue I got on my 11th birthday, but it's my favorite issue, and it came out in, I was 11 when it came out, so 73 or 72. And I got to tell you, this is a big one for me. But the Famous Monsters had yearbooks, and there were yearbooks. This was a 64 and a 65 yearbook. Unfortunately, I don't have all the yearbooks, and I believe this game was the game we're playing today was in the cover of a yearbook with another page inside with the spinner, etc., etc.
The goal of the game is to be the first person to get a pair of characters in every single kind of quadrant.
Yeah, and it comes with, like I said, it's all on the inside cover of a magazine. So I just scanned it. I had to tweak some of the artwork and fix it. And I printed it out so Hunter and I could play it, because you don't want to tear a cover off your magazine. So I'm wondering if anybody ever played this game. But I scanned it, I printed it out bigger so we could show it to you and play it on this show. But it comes with the board. It comes with 6 characters. They're the Ghoul Brothers, the Witch Sisters, and the Mad Scientists. Yes. And this yellow, blue, and red, 2 of each. And that way you can play 2 to 6 players. And then it comes with a bunch of little pieces for you to put down on the monster thing, because like Hunter said, your goal is to get a pair of monsters on each side.
To symbolize ownership.
Yep. It comes with a spinner on the board. But again, we didn't have the original magazine, so we didn't have the spinner. But luckily,
we have a dice.
We have a dice. In almost every game we played, either you do a spinner with 6 issue or a dice. So it always works out. And they even say if you can't do the spinner, just get a dice anyway.
It's always a good way to make your game. But yeah, no, to start out, you just pick your character, whether it's one of the Witch Sisters, Wanda or Wheezy, one of the Mad Scientists, Ollie, or Stan Flea, or one of the Ghoul Brothers, Gilbert or Gregory.
Yep, and I got Gregory.
And in this case, I'm going to go with Wanda. And so people usually spin to go for highest and stuff. Well, it's pretty hard to beat.
Yep.
So you go first. And the idea is to just keep rolling until you have matches in each quadrant.
Yep. So you'd roll, and if you're lucky, 1, 2, 3, that I didn't. So this game has a lot of little information on it. Some of them will send you back. Some of them will make you lose a turn. Some of them will make you give up a monster to the other person. Some of them send you to Hades.
Yeah, and the idea is that when you land on a monster, say that I came out here and landed on Miss Thing, and then I would put one of my Wanda tokens over it to show that I have it. And that way, and you just get things for free when you land on them. When other players land on them, though, you have a battle.
And the battle is very simple. It's much just like high card wins kind of thing, but you use a dice. So you ante one up. So if, say, I'm coming across and I land on a Hunter's square with a Wanda's square.
And we both had a monster.
Right. I have to give up one of my monsters or one of my things off the board.
One of the creatures that you have, you kind of ante up. So to do the combat, I would need a monster, and then he would also need a monster.
Yeah, so say I had a monster over here. The one thing the rules aren't very clear on is what you do when you don't have a monster yet. So like Hunter said, if you don't have one, you don't get to do anything. And it's kind of a dead play, that issue.
Yeah. And then when you get into combat, it really is. It's just you both put your monsters, you ante up, and then the winner takes all. And so it is that until the game is over. And
Right.
there's all sorts of these interesting spaces to land on that are rather going to hold you back. Some of them just make you give almost everything you have to other players.
Right.
It's a very it reminded me a lot of the Mad Magazine game.
Yeah, it does, even in
Just
design.
chaos. Yeah, yeah. In the mechanics, it just really revels in the chaos of it.
It does, and it's so small printed. It's even bigger the way I printed it than it is in the magazine. And you're sitting there going, "Oh, what are these instructions saying?" But you know, it is. It keeps you going. There is a way to win. I mean, you might not get all your monsters until you do a war and accidentally fall upon it. So I find this to be truly a luck game. It's all about the dice in this one. Wherever you land is going to dictate it. It's not like you get to make a lot of choices. So it's where you land and what you roll.
Yeah, because I'm sure that a lot of these spaces would become very familiar with enough play where, like, someone lands on it and the group collectively knows that that person is going to be out of commission or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And like Hunter said, you have to give up some of your points all the time. You got a war zone, you got Hades, you got the trap, and they're going to hold you up longer. It's interesting because I think there was, if you look in the back of a Famous Monsters magazine, they sold 4 or 5 games, including this one. So I don't know if they sold it as folded paper or anything. If any of you viewers know, it would be great to know more about this game. I did a little bit of asking around on some Facebook pages, but didn't really hear anything. But it would be nice to know exactly what issue this game came from. And if the other ones, like, was it random? Was one of the 5 games in the magazines, or were there multiple magazines that I don't know about? But you can tell there was a lot of work put into a game that 99% of the people are not going to tear the cover off of their magazine and cut it up to do. So I bet you not a lot of people have played this game.
Which is kind of like, I think it's funny because out of all the games, again, it's reminded me of Madden. Kind of getting into what I liked about it is like it's very colorful. I like the detail that's in the tiles, and I like the creatures. It's all very fun, and sometimes, and this is just like a game in a magazine, which is kind of pulled off some of the better elements of other games better than some like soul things that we've done before. And I think that's just really impressive how it all came together like that.
Really, you know, they had to play test it to find out if it was doable. Because when you first look at it, you go, "Oh, this is," and it could. The game could take a long time if you just roll badly.
Mhm.
But I totally agree. I love the artwork on it. The artwork's all retro, 60s monster, cool, fun stuff. It has nothing to do with, you know, copyrighted Dracula, Frankenstein, or Wolfman. They're all kind of original creations, which makes it a lot of fun. I'm sure we'd probably recognize the artist to it, but it wasn't listed in here. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of the famous artists actually worked on this just for fun.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about us, check us out at toyarchaeology.com. You can also find us on Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe and I guess ring the bell down there on our YouTube channel.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.